Lauban. Namaskar. If it can be seen, if it can be seen, if it can be felt, if it can be smelled, if it can be touched, it means by its very traits that I just mentioned, it would come to an end. That includes my body, and that includes your body, and that includes everybody. Keep your focus intact on the sound of my voice, and you would see. Come, go ahead, sit in the grass or concrete ground with a rubber mat like I sit. Try to be in the nature, surround yourself with the things and the presence and the gift which is given to you by cosmos, which is given to you by eternity, which is given to you by the sacred, which is given to you by the Brahman. Do this practice every day. Do meditation every day. Do this practice every day. Do meditation every day as much as you can and for as long as you can. You see, become seriously and keenly interested in your well being, not in your body or how I look. Nurture your body, keep it clean, don't abuse your body, but something more profound within you that needs to that needs to have your focus on, and you need to make sure that goes in and comes out fluently, not constipated or intention. Meditation is the spiritual practice that you do to make sure of that. If it can be seen, if it can be felt, if it can be smelled, if it can be seen, if it can be felt, if it can be smelled, if it can be touched, if it can be perceived through your five senses. I hope you are understanding. If it can be perceived through your five senses, it is not the ultimate reality. Now, by this definition, when you look around and you see this three-dimensional reality, which is a very narrow band, three-dimensional reality, which is a very narrow band, you see and you know, well, it is coming to, it would, excuse me, it would come to an end because of the very definition what Yes just expressed or told us. Through your five senses, you are perceiving the physical reality. But you can go beyond the barriers of physicality by raising what you essentially are. And you know what you essentially are. You are nothing but a sense. This is a sense. This sense cannot be seen. This sense cannot be smelled. This sense cannot be touched. This sense cannot be tasted. This sense cannot be heard. But you cannot even perceive this sense. It's anything, as I just mentioned, anything, as I just mentioned, anything that you can see, anything that you can hear, anything that you can feel, anything that you can smell or taste has an objectivity attached to it. Anything that goes to our body. You see, anything which you understand in narrow band definition, real, so called real, is not ultimate reality. Now, I am not saying, I'm not implying, I'm not insinuating, whatever the word in English you want to attach, that the experience is not real. Experience is real. What you are experiencing, the sound of my voice, but it is not what you think is happening. That's number one. Shh, silent the mind. Shh. That's number one. It is not what you think is happening. And number two is, it is not the ultimate reality. What ultimate reality is, what you are, cannot be seen. The real, this is accumulation, cannot be seen, cannot be smelt, cannot be touched, cannot even be felt or perceived through your five senses. You can only consume in it. You cannot feel yourself. I hope you are understanding. This is something so difficult that I am explaining in words. Okay. What that you cannot be perceived through physicality, through five senses. You can only be get in touch with yourself. That's all you can do. You cannot feel it even. You cannot perceive it through the point of view of a separate self. That's what you try to do. You cannot perceive you cannot perceive it through the point of view of a separate self. You see, separate self means that you are living in a delusion. Separate self means that you are your body and your mind, the individual, the human ego, the human intellect. That separate self is. But in a reality, no separation. You see, in a reality, you can only be consumed within you. You cannot perceive it, what the word I'm looking for, through the perspective of a spectator. If you are a spectator who speculates, a spectator who observes and speculates, you cannot observe your own self, and you cannot observe something being from outside, that the individual self or separate self. The words I'm delivering right now have extreme potence, if you understand. The words I'm delivering right now have extreme potence and energy attached to it. So when you listen to these words, try to listen to this communion with sacred and divinity as a pre-meditation, so your mind becomes clear and you get fully involved in meditation. When you get fully involved in meditation, when you have no sense of ego or thought or even your body, that's what we understand as samadhi. It would take you a lot of time and dedication. but you would get there. I promise you that every human is perfectly capable of doing that. So that's what we understand as samadhi. And then only then you consume in you see. There is a story. There is there is a story. There is a story in ancient India. A baby fish, a cute baby fish, is in ocean. You see, ocean has countless. Ocean has numerous, countless, like you cannot even count, you would lose the count. Countless creatures in the ocean. A baby fish, of course, in the ocean too, looks at the mum fish or mother fish and asks a question, which is, Mum, I I want to see the ocean. The baby fish, the awareness of baby fish is not very high because it's a baby fish. It looks at mom and says, Mother, I want to see the ocean. And mother, of course, spent more time than the baby fish, tells or replies, Baby fish, you, sweetheart, you are already in the ocean. You see, so she was already in the ocean, but she didn't have the awareness of it. You see, ancient India, this story, it's a very wise story if you profoundly comprehend this story. You are trying to find the sense of self awareness. You are trying to find consciousness as it is something outside of you, or you are not in it, just like the baby fish wanting wanting to see the ocean, not realizing baby fish itself in the ocean, just like you are that baby fish. You are trying to look for God outside of yourself. You are trying to look for kahuna. You are trying to look for sacred, the omniscient and omnipresent outside of yourself. It would never work. You are that kahuna. You are trying to look for yourself. You just do not realize that. If you understand, I have delivered since now pay attention to everything I'm saying. This is very serious for you to know. I never mentioned this before, but people who are close to me or close seers, and certain people know that, including my spouse. I never mentioned it before because I never thought there would be a need. But today I feel, while I was in the state of samadhi, I feel tremendously that I need to mention this. And sacred also is making me realize that we would just look into it very briefly. I cannot mention everything here because some of these things are very private. My world is very private. My world is within me. I live in that world. Um, Everyone's world is very private. More than 2 decades ago, um, more than, it's been a long time now. I was young, and I wouldn't get around about the demographics, when, where, with who. These things are not important. I was in, we were falling off a cliff. It was not a huge cliff, but it was huge enough. And the person who was the driver who was in the charge of the wheel lost control somehow. And the van we were in, it was kinda run down, not a lot, but kinda run down. He lost the control over the wheel on the driving, and the van started coming down, like literally it, the rubber, you know, the rubber of the tires was not even touching the cliff, in numerous. And you can pretty much imagine, you get the picture, use your imagination. And then everything, uh, and then everything that I had performed, um, and then everything that I had performed to that point, even though I was fairly young, but then everything I had performed to that point, moments, specific moments to that point, they were highlighting in my vision. And I said to myself that till that time I was alive, and but everything was happening very fast. Now I am telling you, so it seems like a long time while you are listening, and I'm telling you, but everything was happening with the flicks of seconds, if you understand. Yeah. So what? So, and I remember thinking that this, I'm going to die. You know, that changed very fast. And then it, when start when hit something while the still driver was somehow trying to take the control of the wheel. and and awareness, the reason I'm saying it awareness, it was kind of a voice, but not a humanly voice. It was whatever it was, it had, it was kind of voice, but as it was not the voice. It's very difficult, wording is very difficult here, meaning it resonate, it was like an energy wave. It was like a vibration basically that resonated through. And it said that everything is fine, just go with it. Or everything is fine, just roll with it. I hope you're following me. It said, it said that everything is fine, however you want to perceive the gist of that vibration, the voice. It was nor male nor a female voice, if you understand. It was nor male nor a female voice. It couldn't be classified as a male or female. It was very profound, very deep, and it said everything is fine. Just roll with it. And the next thing I know, that I was in there was white everywhere, and it had tangible feeling to it, like potent amount of extreme energy, you see. And it was, oh, oh, it was white. It had, oh, it was white. It had potent amount of, like, energy in its purest form, maybe, you see. Energy in its purest form that you can touch it. So keep following what I'm telling you. Energy in its purest form that you can even touch it. White, so white that you cannot express, you can only experience it. So I cannot express the intensity, that how white it was. And I didn't have no sense of dimensions, meaning it's, it was not that I'm falling or I'm scared or I am up or right or left or anything. No sense of dimension. You, I hope you are trying to imagine that. You can only imagine, you can look only close around to my words. If you want to know it fully, you need to only experience. And once you experience, and once you experience, you cannot explain it if you understand what I'm saying to you. Once you once you experience, you cannot explain it to its fullest extent as it was happening. It's impossible. No one can do that. You can only experience it. So I didn't have no sense of dimension. No, that I'm falling down or I'm going. There was no sense of dimension of any type. There was no sense of direction. The best I can tell you that the best I can tell you, I'm struggling with words. Imagine that. The best I can tell you that I was kind of suspended in this, whatever it was. And it immediately resonated through me. I was just a point of perception. It was a moment of total perception. I was a point of self awareness. I was a point of consciousness. It all was it, basically. All it was this. And it resonated through me that yes, you are where you have to be, and the circumstances which led you here. It said to me that yes, you are where you have to be, and the circumstances which led you here, and before you is the white, you see. And now you have an opportunity to ask a question or a series of, I distinctly remember all this. Now you have an opportunity to ask a question or a series or flies. Now you have the opportunity to ask a question or a series of questions, and we would encourage you to do so. Like I don't know what we was, because there was no one there. There was just this white, if you understand. There was no one there. I don't know. It used plural. And I distinctively remember it says, yes, you are where you have to be, and the circumstances which led you to this point, you are where you have to be in this moment in time. And the circumstances which led you and the circumstances which led you here, and before you is the white. Now you have an opportunity to ask a question or a series of questions, and we would encourage you to ask that. Now, there was no time involved here. There was a vivid sense of timelessness. And as soon as the question was even forming, the answer was coming through. It like the awareness was coming through, not in words. The question is forming as awareness, the answer is coming as awareness. Very simple. There is no time. As soon as the question is forming, the answer is there. It- I don't understand. I don't know if you understand this, but it is what it is. I was fascinated by everything going on. And one question that I would express here, I said, so, who is God, or what is God? Am I that? Are you that? What is it? And the answer to that was, it's me and you both. And that was very brief, but very to the point, with no possibility of misunderstanding. The answer to that was, it's me and you both, which in the ultimate, it's one. That was the answer, basically, and the understanding of all time. And anyway, rest is very private. You see, I told you, Rest is very, very private. I told you we all have our private worlds within us and we live in that world. It's nothing good or bad, it's just the way it is. And rest is very private. So private that nobody knows but me, and it would go with me when I go. Nobody would know. It's nor good nor bad. You see, it is what it is. But that's between me and the secret. That's between me and the divinity. But I wanted to express this small part. And then I would jump to the end. In the end, I remember the awareness was resonating through me that have you learned to love yet? That was the question. And the question was, have you learned, the third, the past tense, learned, not learn, but learn. Have you learned the to love? Excuse me. Have you learned to love? And my answer was, I am in the process. And I heard a chuckle. And I remember being aware of my thought, maybe, if you want to call it that, that what's so funny? That's what I remember. And then I found myself on suspended on my own body, whatever the body I had accumulated. And then the same awareness resonated through me in form of rather vibration. If you want to call it voice, that's fine. And it said that somebody is going to be here in less than 30 seconds, so hang in there. You see, it's very, very strange, isn't it? For anyway, it's the the awareness resonated through me. If you want to call it voice, it's on you. And it said to me, somebody's going to be here in less than 30 seconds, so hang in there. And the next thing I know that as soon as I opened my eyes, the eyes of EMT, which is um, the next thing I know, as soon as I um, opened my eyes, the eyes of the paramedic, the EMT, emergency medical technician. I think that's what it stands for. Emergency medical technician. His eyes went because he was right on my face trying to do his jumps or something. And as soon as I opened, his eyes got brighter. That's it. So I wanted to share that. I had the awareness that I should. I have never mentioned 187 yesterday. You see the videos I have posted, not in a single video I have mentioned it. This happened to me. After this experience, it prompted me to look more clearly in life. I would tell you this. And it prompted me, I had a silent awareness. I had a profound silent awareness that this is not it. I had a profound silent awareness that this, what we are experiencing, is not it. There's got to be something more. If you understand, this is not it. There is got to be. There is got to be something more. And then I started looking inwards for the answers, and it prompted me to start a spiritual practice such as Kriya Yoga and meditation. And it took me rapidly and it answered. When I started Kriya Yoga, I have to do everything myself. I would do it. Nobody's going to do it for me. But it would happen. I would manifest. That's how you work on your energy. You are basically what you essentially are, what you What you essentially are is giving birth to energy. What do you think if you even speak with a scientist or a physiologist or a person of science, they would tell you that energy is, you need to work on your energy in order to form it in a certain way. It is step by step, everything happens. It's not that Jesus Christ is coming on a, what the animal we have in heaven, a unicorn, or Muhammad is coming on a burraq or this or that. No, you need to work on it. You need to work on yourself. You need to work on it, and you need to work on yourself step by step. But it would happen. Nobody would do that for you. Rumi said it very clearly. It's your road, and Rumi said very clearly that it's your road and your road alone. Other can walk with you, but nobody can do it for you. So this is it. You see, you would manifest your own reality step by step through the dedication towards Kriya Yoga and Kriya meditation. That's what happened to me. It's not that somebody is going to come from outside and rescue you. No, nobody's coming. You would work on you, and then you would move. If you, even if you speak with a person of science, a physics, the person or the person of metaphysics or physics, and you look through the perspective of modern science, you realize you need to work on energy to manifest it in a certain way. It is very simple. And then you can move it in whichever direction you want to move it. But first you have to make this energy so vibrant, not vibrant in the sense of this three-dimensional reality. You can be easily misunderstood when I say vibrant. Not vibrant, because the more vibrant you are in this narrow band, the more it is difficult for you when the hour arrives, the transition, because the more attachments you have. But vibrant in the sense of cosmos, vibrant in the sense of that you have worked, your energies are so feeble. It's not a negative thing, it's a brilliant thing. Your energies have become so feeble. Feeble, usually weak. If you understand, you probably don't. When you don't have no expectations from anything, when you do not look forward to anything, when you, I'm trying to elaborate further what it means. When you have no attachments with anything, when you are ready, no matter what the circumstances lead you, you always remain playful, as Shri Krishna was. You see, he fought numerous wars. The dialogue between Arjuna and Shri Krishna is Bhagavad Gita. But he always remained playful, you see, in everything, because he was not attached to anything. When you are not, when your energies are like that, you are limitless. There are yogis when their energies are feeble like that. Now you understand much clearly what it means, feeble. There are yogis, their energies are so feeble like that they can slip into other creatures. You know that? Anyway, so you can manifest, you become very powerful. But it takes time. You are the one who's going to do it. Nobody's going to come and rescue you. You would do it step by step with your dedication to Kriya Yoga and Kriya meditation. You are the one. And sitting in the nature and not gossiping, sitting in the nature and not gossiping, or take your faith out from the things that don't matter, such as contemplating revenge. It does not matter, literally. As a matter of fact, is detrimental to your spiritual growth. Do not contemplate revenge. The easiest and the most natural thing is that you forgive. Now there is no tension. So let's learn to forgive, you see. Or you are not angry, you see, for the most part of your day, or you are not restless for the most part of your day. Like if I am sitting here, if I sit here next 10 hours without any need, it means that there is a certain level of transparency is in me. I have transcended the barriers of physicality and transcended the barriers of mind, which prompts you to do something all the time, just so you can achieve these goals by doing the right things in your life, by forgiving, by coexisting. These are the things which go in accord with nature, in accord with life. And performing Kriya Yoga and meditation along with the right and positive things, then your energy would become like that. Then you would become very powerful, you know. My God. Om Shiva, Om Shiva Nama, Om Namah Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva Nama, Om Namah Shiva. O Kali माँ मेरे को शक्ति दे, ओ काली माँ मेरे को शक्ति देने का. Om Shiva, Om Shiva Nama, Om Namah Shiva, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. O Yogeshwara, O Ishwar. O Brahman, O Brahman, O limitless, O the boundless, when the time is over. O Brahma, O limitless, O the boundless, when the time is over, when the moment has arrived, when the hour is arrived for me, for this Atman, take instantaneously. Let this Atman not linger, take instantaneously. Flick of a moment, flick of a second. Let this Atman, let my Atman not linger here. No second thoughts, no second guesses. Take instantaneously. O Yogeshwara. Om Shanti.